Tell you what, I'm really enjoying the that intro song.
Okay, we are live. Welcome to Airsoft Radio on the 20th of May. I'm your host for this evening, Sarah, and with me, usually, he's not quite here yet, he's not made it yet. He's here, yes. And with me are my two awesome co-hosts.
Hello.
The self-proclaimed King of Airsoft, Mr. Airsoft Nation. We have Graham. I point that way. And I didn't actually say it myself. We have the Grandad of Airsoft. We have Jim. And last but not least, we have the lovely Magdalena, a.k.a. Polish Airsoft Girl.
Hello, everyone.
Down here.
Nice to see you guys.
If it's your first time tuning in, welcome to Airsoft Radio. Remember, you can join in the conversation and have your say down in the comments. It can get pretty out of hand down there, so Graham and Jim do enjoy watching it blow up. And if you're not watching it live on a Monday evening, remember to review, comment, like, subscribe, do all those good things. And also subscribe to Airsoft Radio. You can find us live on YouTube, Facebook and Twitch, or you can download the podcast from iTunes, Spotify or Android. Today on the show, we are going to talk about Magdalena's experiences in Airsoft playing in Poland for 7 years. And also having only recently just moved to the UK, we'd like to talk about the differences between playing in Europe, playing in the States, and playing in the UK. So it'd be very interesting to hear her views on that subject. But before we delve into all that, what has everyone else been up to this week? Let's start with Jim.
Well, I got older.
Happy birthday!
Being the granddad, I've now got a bus pass apparently. Fuckers. I was at Bush Valley Airsoft on Saturday, which was actually my birthday, and got to have a little bit of a run out and treated myself to a new bit of kit.
Let's full screen that one for you.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, the Viper VX buckle up rig with the chest rig and the bit that hides my fat. And then Sunday, I was down at Ace Combat, so that was quite fun. It was always a good laugh down there. So, yeah.
I've still not been there for too long. This weekend, I was going to play, but ended up not, unfortunately. Just caught up at home life and stuff like that. Looking forward to taking these aim cams out. That's my next one. And as Jim's got there, I've got the buckle up system, and I can't wait to run it. But unfortunately, no playing for me this weekend. Just looking forward, hopefully, to next weekend to get out on the field.
Awesome. Are they the glasses with the camera in the middle?
They are, yes. So these are the aim cam. These are the Gen 2. So what you've got there is a 1080p camera on the front there. The issues with something like that compared to GoPro is more about capacity and battery life, but you can plug a battery extension into the end. I'm just really looking forward to using for reviews. Just get out in the field to use those while out playing. I am aware comments aren't showing, so I'm going to quickly refresh my end. So I'll be back in a sec while you carry on.
Cool. And Magda, what have you been up to this week?
This week it was break from Airsoft. I was packing my stuff, and I'm gonna shock you. I'm going next weekend for quite big MacFed paintball game, next weekend. That will be my first one. So I was just preparing my gear. So it was kind of just relaxing weekend for me. And I was trying something new this upcoming weekend.
I did see your Instagram video that you put up where you were practicing, and it was paintball, but it didn't look like paintball. It looked like Airsoft.
Was remember when I tried Airsoft paintball. I'm sorry, 8 or 9 years ago. It was this weird markers with this big monster like hoppers. So yeah, it's really nice, to see like a change and just try something new. I think it's like quite challenging task as well. It's just more difficult than in Airsoft.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yeah,
so
and you, Sarah, come on.
Yeah. I've been on holiday this week, so I have had a complete break from Airsoft. I haven't been on Airsoft Radio. I went to Sussex for the week, and I am also 1 year older as well. It was my birthday on Tuesday. So
happy birthday, or belated birthday.
Happy birthday.
Only a year younger than Graham, so I could be a grandma. But I haven't played Airsoft that long, so so there you go. Yeah, so it's good to get back into it, and I'll be playing on Sunday, so looking forward to that.
Where are you going on Sunday?
I am going to AAA. I think where am I going? AAA, yeah. As
Are
always.
you sure you don't have royalties in that site?
Oh, don't. When I go there, the guy that runs it, Boona, he now announces to everyone, it's the star of stage and screen. Queen. I'm like, shut up. Just
Good
shut
old
up.
Boomer.
He said, oh wait back. You have to pay photographs now and autographs. Whatever.
Good old celebrity.
Yeah, no, actually, genuinely, he was. He watched the show and he was really thought it was a good thing that we're doing. So, yeah.
If only to keep us all off the streets for a night.
Okay, let's get into it then. Okay, Magda, if you tell us a little bit about how you first got into Airsoft and how your Airsoft journey started.
Okay, so it will be just quick and simple because we have other topics to go. So yeah, it started like 7 years ago. It was early spring, 7 years ago, and my brother bought his first Airsoft sniper rifle. It was Dragunov, the spring one. And I was like, wow, that's something really cool. But none of our friends was playing. So then I bought my first CM28 AK-47, the cheapest AEG of the market that I could. Yeah, that was my first airsoft gun, and we started play one-on-one. We used to live really close to a forest, and then we introduced friends, and we catch some contacts, and it's how it started. Going on more like bigger events, meeting new people, going like on bigger games, on international games. So yeah, it's just because of my little brother. Yeah, I'm really grateful that he get me into that. So yeah.
So when you first started playing Airsoft, it was literally in the woods behind your house?
Yeah, just with my brother, and that's how it started. And then our neighbors, it was like, oh, that's so cool, so they bought their own like airsoft guns. And then we just kind of started to search some like local sites, and then we started to go. Like, I remember when I first went on my walk-on game, 50 people. I was like, whoa, oh my God, 50 people playing all together. So I was like, yeah, really excited. And from that day, we just started to catch more and more contacts. And, this is, how it started.
Fantastic. Right. Okay. So should we just start the discussion now, the main discussion? Should the UK have higher FPS limits? Okay, so let's go around the table with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Graham, do you want to start?
I think we should just set the tone here. So, Magdalena, you've played, obviously, in the UK, where you are now. You've played in Poland. You played in the States, right? Because you went to...
Desert Fox event, yeah.
Desert Fox events. Any other country? You've been in France, am I right?
No, I've been in Slovakia and Czech Republic.
Okay, and of all the countries there, what's the highest FPS limit or Joule limit that you've used?
So Poland, I come from the south of Poland, so we have places that, the FPS limit is like 666, and just use your head. So... and it doesn't matter if it's like sniper rifle, DMR, or assault rifle. It's just it's kind of we play like that. And to be honest, I haven't seen like many injuries and I've been playing like many years back home. And of course, there's like in every country, even with 300 FPS, there are some stressful situations and some injuries. But yeah, like on my local side, it was like 600 if FPS, and on the official games, usually you have for assault rifle 450, for DMR is 550, for sniper rifle is 600. So that's the official like FPS limits when you go on like official games, you know. So it's still much higher than in the UK, and yeah, it's like it was difficult for me when I came to the UK. And in my M4 I had like 470, 480 FPS that and I was using 0.3s like BBs. So when I came to the UK, and of course like straight from the box, you know, I bought a Crytek, and it was, I think it's less than 330 FPS, and yeah, my issue on start was like I was opening fire like much too early, you know. It's like and my BBs were like ew, you know. It's like So then yeah, I had to play good few times just to get used to it, and I think now it's absolutely fine. But yeah, you could definitely tell that it was like, oh yeah, that's definitely like 150 FPS less than I get used to, you know. So yeah, that was a bit funny, and yeah, a bit funny like on start. But now I get used to it, and I think like, I don't know if you need more, you know, to have fun on the games.
Yeah. I would say it's probably worth saying before anyone in the comments goes crazy, and I do already see a lot of comments coming in there, that we in the UK cannot go any higher. There is precedence with law, but we can't go any higher than we've got a small buffer, but not enough to jump up to that limit. It was purely a conversation. So some of the comments in there are quite funny, with people saying that that's crazy. It's like hunting, but kind of safe. So,
that's funny. Sometimes I heard like that they called Poland like Airsoft Texas, you know. That's what I heard like a few times. So yeah, it's kind of a little bit like that. But I think it's good to experience like different communities and different FPS limits.
Do you think that the higher FPS limits makes people be more careful or less?
I think it doesn't matter. To be honest, it's more conversation about different types of community, and this is like really good topic, because like Airsoft in Poland is on very good level. It's in very good level, and it's getting more and more popular every year. But what I found, like Polish players are very, very serious people usually, sometimes, which I dislike, because a lot of people act as like special forces, you know. It's very common. We have normal walk on Sunday game, everyone wants to relax, and you see all these like, you know, uber pro like tactical players, you know, that they act and they just like very aggressive to other people, you know, especially a beginner. So yeah, this is what I found, that it's yeah, like we have more like serious people like in sport. When I started to play in the UK, I can see that people are more relaxed, especially on the walk-ons. You know, we don't have lunches, you know, on walk-on games. For me, it was like, okay, it's like we have like half an hour game, then we go to off zone to reload, and then okay, we have another game, half an hour, we come back to off zone, and then we have lunch, like, you know, 1 o'clock. I was like, Jesus, you know. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, when we come back to the game, you know, because I was used to like, I was playing from like 9 or 10 till 4 o'clock, non-stop, every, you know, walk-on game. So I was like, oh, on start, it was very weird, but you know, it's like, I really like it. I really like it. It's just, you treat this walk-on, you know, game on the weekend like really nice and relaxing game. And if you want to go to on a serious game, you would just choose Milsing game or whatever, you know. So I think that's really nice difference between Poland and UK. It's like, yeah, I miss like a lot of events in Poland. Like some 24s events that I've been going every year or twice a year. And yeah, I miss. So definitely I will come back on some games from time to time to Poland.
So, Jim, obviously, we've been around quite a bit.
It's not Grandad. Take this as an insult.
Do you think we've become more relaxed over the years? Because to me, I think from all the years of playing, it's always been like that since the start for me. Admittedly, we used to play like only 4-hour days at some days. Like we'd play of an evening on a Wednesday, so you wouldn't stop for lunch. But I think it's always been relaxed since I can remember, unless you were doing a milsim over here.
Yeah, I don't think it's changed much. Like the format's changed a lot. There's certainly more like battle sim days coming up now.
I was going to say we're starting to see almost that transition of now where more sites are saying, you know what, we're going to do a full day. If you want your lunch, have it out on the field. We're not going to keep going back to base. Yeah, it's an interesting one about that seriousness level.
I think it's just got douche in the UK. It's just full of people that I still don't get the whole thing of like running around so relaxed that it's I'm going to wear a stupid outfit and have a rubber knife and just I don't get it. But even I'm old and a granddad, so I'm supposed to not get it.
Sarah, what time do you kind of turn up to a game? Because obviously most game days probably start 9:30 or 10 after safety briefing.
I usually rock up about 8 o'clock, but that's
wow.
I like chatting. So
that's me. I'm one of the worst. Jim knows this. I'll sit there and chat for the first hour, and they'll be doing a safety brief, and I'll be like, "Oh, better reload my stuff."
No, I'm not ready. I'm never ready in time. I'm like, "Oh, shit, getting my stuff on now."
People like you make my job so difficult. It's like I'm trying to set up a stand, and it's like people want to come over and chat, and it's like, look, I don't come to disturb you while you're pushing your broom around. Come on.
It's true.
No, I'm
it's
joking.
True.
But yeah, I've like never understood people that are just like so early that they'll wait in the car park. It weirds me out a little bit, to be honest.
I'm so used to turning up early. I went to dog tag. Have you been to dog tag, Magdalena?
No.
No, okay, so that's just down from Watford, so just outside of South London. First time going there, and I'm so early to sites. It's about an hour and a bit for me, so I just set off early. You can't go into the site early. You literally queue out on the main road, and I didn't realise that. So there's just literally a queue of us. And I was like, well, if I knew that, I wouldn't have got in early. And then, the site's fantastic, but the other thing is when you go into the car park, you are bumper to bumper with people. So the people who were last in were first out. I was somewhere in the middle, so it was a case of just sitting in the car for 20 minutes waiting for the people who were last in to get out before you could go. So yeah, I learned
that last guy just wanted to stand and chat.
Yeah,
just delaying you to get out. He was just a dick.
Yeah, the other one is that site.
You're listening.
Brutal if you want to go at lunchtime. You know those sites where people go at lunch. You don't want to be on that site. They actually send you to a different car park if you're having half a day. There's a car park over there. It's down by the dirty paintball area. Off you go, you peasant.
The lepers car park.
But I will turn up late to that show definitely from future on. So yeah, it's funny. I've always felt Airsoft's been relaxed, except for mil sims. I mean, mil sims or battle sims. Yeah.
But it's weird because I've never found like the events to be not relaxed. Like the way they're set up, they're all like, even mil sims I've been to, it's all very like, you've got to be here at this time and this is it, we'll start without you. But like the events are serious enough, but not too serious. Like in the way that they're run. And I know what Magdalena was saying about people that turn up and it's like way too tactical and but it's just what would Carl know about being late all the time? I'm sorry, there's a comment from Carl Burton, and I'm just going to say, fuck you, Carl. You're an idiot. Shut the fuck up, Carl.
Carl is a colleague.
That's overstating it slightly.
after lunch, normally getting towards the end of the day here, it's quite well known that a lot of games just go to shit because everyone's tired.
Yeah, with your big lunches, even I'm like, oh my god, how to run now? You know.
I was gonna say to you, if in Poland people are playing from like 9, 10 in the morning to well into the afternoon without stopping, what does that the same thing happen or worse, or what happens?
You just need to have some snacks with you, we just have like some snacks, like and water with you, and that's it. You just sit on the respawn and just have a bite of something, and then come back to the game.
Fair enough.
I heard they're so tough in Poland, they just eat BBs for lunch. the odd Mark 5 if it's a really big guy.
Nothing like warms you up like eating a Mark 5, huh? But that's where they have the GF points, isn't it? In Poland.
Yeah, it's like I missed like this year, but I really need to go like next year. But yeah, that was tough. It's always like I think in February, so it's like proper winter. No, not yet. I wanted to go this year. I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't because now I had to go in March to Poland. I couldn't go in February, but this is something I really want to do. And you have different difficulties. You can be a beginner, you can be super intermediate, blah blah blah. So it's I think it's nice experience. It's like Polish mountains. So in the winter, so it's tough. It's tough.
Every time I see it, I think I'd love to. I mean, I look down at myself and think you've got a long way to go. But I was chatting to the guys at Speckner Arms at the Northern Shooting Show, and part of me says, "Well, I've got a year. It's got to be worth an experience for sure."
But you can go as a civilian there, you don't have to be, so you can be more like in role play, like part of the event. So you can try to have a go like that.
Yeah, Patrick is
that's what Patrick is. Yes, exactly. Adventure. I forgot how it's called. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, absolutely. But that's Poland Airsoft for you. That's just hardcore there. Sorry, Sarah, I derailed the conversation so far. I forgot what you were saying to begin with.
That's all right. Do you know what? I've actually forgotten. Where were we? Okay, so
next week on Paintball Nation.
Well, no, we were discussing the I don't know, the FPS limits, but it's gone way across that now to relaxed. But no, I understand.
Because you asked me a question. Do I think it's safer when we have higher FPS limits, and then I explain you the difference in the community. Yes. So it's like I think it's pretty much the same. I just seen like more situations that you get shot from close distance, and you get shot from 500 FPS, like nearly point blank. It's not pleasant. So I think it's sometimes a little bit more painful, back home when you have more. It's just sport. It's it's adrenaline. Sometimes you just fire, you're stressed out or something. So the situation happens like that. And when you have 300 FPS, it's different when you have like 500, Of course, it's like sometimes you have no minimum engagement distance, sometimes happens on some sites, but usually it's like accordingly to your FPS limit. But it's definitely more painful.
Yeah,
I feel like health and safety needs to be rife in Poland right now.
Wow.
Honestly, I bet you haven't got handrails on monuments and stuff like that. Sounds out of control.
When I get shot like in my lip and tooth, I started to wear mesh from that day, It's like that was the only one time I was like, it was really painful. I was swollen like that for 2 weeks. I was like, okay, that's it.
So how would you say the hit taking or cheat calling or being a cheater? I mean, the Hidden Hedgehog there, Ash, great to have him on the stream, as playing in the UK made you more of a fair softer.
You bastardos.
Hit taking, has it improved or has it declined, would you say?
I think I'm kind of enjoying different side of airsoft at the moment. I treat it like I'm more relaxed, it's like, because it's such a different community, it's like, yeah, I treat it like a nice relaxing day, it's like, of course, I have moment that I can shoot and I can beat people, and I can run and do whatever I want to do, but I have a moment that I can just have a chat with people, we can have that lunch, it's something nice. And yeah, as Ash said, probably maybe I'm a little bit more fair softer at the moment. But yeah, I'm pretty enjoying it. Of course, I plan to do a few like more serious events in the UK. You have this Sterling Airsoft, Sterling, yeah. So this is what I plan to do like quite soon. So I want to see if this mills inside of UK like games, in airsoft. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But so far I'm enjoying. Maybe I become a little bit more fair softer, less serious than I used to be. But yeah, I'm getting older as well, So yeah, but I'm really enjoying playing in the UK.
And the hit taking, better or worse? And do you think
same.
FPS? Same.
Same. It's like cheaters might happen everywhere. It doesn't matter what are the FPS limits. Sometimes, of course, when you have more FPS, you can hear like more, when you hit the gear or a plastic element or metal element of the gear. Definitely you can tell, or you could hear a shot, and then when someone doesn't take a hit, it's like obvious, And when you run, when you shoot from 300 FPS, when someone is running, even when you shot someone, you don't hear. It's like, and then, yeah, but I think it's exactly the same, like in both countries, hit taking.
Yeah, I know Tom Hibbard from Airsoft Action TV just released a video about do you feel your hit? And he stood there at 30 meters and 50 meters being shot with his rifle, and they were, I want to say, it was like 0.25s and 0.3s BBs. And he was saying that even at 20, 30 meters, he'd been hitting his pouches. He didn't feel anything. And unless you're listening to it, you're none the wiser, even though he's standing there waiting for it. And I think it's going to be the same, isn't it? With the higher FPS limit or a higher Joule limit, you're definitely going to hear it, but you're still not going to feel any difference. Yeah,
it depends on the distance. But as I said, it's like if you find like a cheater on the game, it doesn't matter, which country is that. Like they will still like cheat and pretend, they won't take hits.
But just go home with a few more welts.
Yeah, yeah. So then it switched to full auto,
In terms of buying riffs, I understand there's no UCARA equivalent over there. Am I right?
No.
So anyone can just, without the UCARA, or
you don't have to use 2-tone guns before. We don't have anything like UCARA. So that was funny thing. Like when I was doing my UCARA in the UK, I wanted to do it like in proper way, So I was going on the site 3 times. I think you can get it earlier than 56 days.
56 days, that's it.
Yeah. So I was doing like my UCARA through Wolf Armories. I was going to Bunker 51 in London. So,
wow.
I was like, that's crazy site. That's really crazy site. But in Poland you don't have to. Of course you need to. Technically, you need to be 18. But you have sites that you can be. Oh, that's a thing. Usually on the sites you have to be 16 with parents' permission. So usually you are not allowed to play when you are 12 or 13. When in the UK, you can play. You can see even kids playing. Back home it's like only on very like local sites you can find like kids playing like 10, 12 years old, but usually 16 and above. So that's, I think, because of the FPS limits. Yeah.
I'm already smiling because Jim's like, yep, well,
I can see his face.
With 500 feet per second rifles, what could go wrong?
So yeah.
I'm curious to know what the health insurance situation's like with Poland.
I have no idea.
For me, I'd want a dentist and
free dental care all around.
Dear Lord. That's just like.
But on big games, it's like 18 plus. 18 plus. Yeah.
Good.
On,
That's
most
the rule
cases.
that I think we should adopt.
Yeah.
Get rid of the kids.
Kids are the future of airsoft. Without them, we won't have players to play with in the next few years.
They're cannon fodder. They get to run in front of me. Because I'm not running.
When I was 12, I discovered drinking. And I knew I had to wait till I was 18. So why can't these little fuckers learn to wait until they're 18 to come and play? It's all about
Jim,
the anticipation. Go on.
Jim, I have a question for you. How many years do you play?
I was not going to say how old was I, which would be inappropriate, right?
So how many places do you play Airsoft?
Sorry, how long have I been playing or how many places?
Yeah. How long have you been playing?
15 years now.
Okay.
So,
and how many
back when plastic
of
was
your
first invented,
old friends are still playing? Yeah, that's the question.
Well, it's weird. Started playing 15 years ago. The only one I know of, and I didn't know him at the time, but would be Graham. That was sort of but I mean, I've got friends that have been playing with for like 10 years. So a lot of them are still involved in it.
And that was pre-Yukara, so there was no Yukara. I mean, I bought my first gun.
Oh, really? I thought that it was always a thing in the UK.
2006.
Really?
2007, yeah, was when it came out.
I didn't even know that.
I bought my Cymer 8K, the same one that you've got, the folding stock version, from a boot market at the age of, I was like 14. Just bought it, then took it to a site. First of all, just playing with it.
I mean, that was still illegal. You should have been over 18 to buy it, but...
Was there any particular big reason that Yukara came along, or was it just like suddenly this is what we're doing?
The government, the government were changing the law, and Yukara was basically a committee put together to help fight it, or to at least lead it in the right direction. Right. So Yukara came out. They were around before the law was involved. They'd been around when they were doing the consulting and stuff like that. But yeah, pre that there was no really Yukara. There was no license or defense required. So yeah,
what about limits back then?
Still credit card limits mainly.
we didn't really have limits because we had limits, but we didn't. And Jim will say this: 328 was the limit, or we used to have 312 plus or minus 10%, but we didn't chrono. You bought the gun and you didn't change 1,000 parts in there. You just Jim, you keep me.
So I was going to say that what I remember was. Sorry. What I remember was that 2006 or like 2005, 2006 was when like the Chinese import boom happened.
Yeah.
And every gun was like 400 feet per second out the box. You bought something from eHobby Asia or RSOV or someone like that. And those were hotter than shit. And then, but like anything you bought in the UK was usually the classic Army or TM, little bit of ICS. And they were all like 330 out of the box. But it was sort of around that time of like the Asia boom that then Yukara came along because, it's one step off anarchy and Polish rules. But yeah, that's why I remember it sort of happening.
But Jim, it wasn't heavily chronoed, right? Unless
no, the site I went to 2 sites like regularly, and they were both like shit out on chronoing.
Yeah.
And that was FCS had the Angel site, which was at Angel Islington Tube Station.
Yep.
There was a fetish club on a Monday night and an airsoft club on a Thursday night.
Wow.
And only once did I ever see someone turn up on the wrong night, and it wasn't an airsofter. That was embarrassing. And yeah,
Electroworks, didn't you?
Well, that was it. Electroworks, which, and then Cage, which was at Fort Amherst. Sorry, yes. I can't remember. I've had too much to drink. Yeah, so no, they were both religious about chronoing, but like there was never an issue about hot guns.
No, so I used to play at Fallout, and we used to go to Electroworks, and we used to have teams from Electroworks come over to us because it's about 40 minutes away, which was like a normal travel time then. There wasn't that many sites to go to. And we weren't. I mean, our site owner wasn't necessarily chronoing unless someone fired something, and it was like, oh, this doesn't sound too good, and then the chrono would come out, and he'd be looking around for batteries to try and find it, because it was like, oh, it's so rare. And you're right. When eHobby Asia stuff started coming in, and that used to be really big because it used to be called eBay Banned for a while, didn't it? Before it was eHobby Asia.
No, that wasn't
eHobby that's eBay Airsoft, wasn't it? That's eBay Airsoft.
eBay Airsoft was eBay Banned. Yeah. Back when eBay banned selling airsoft guns on it. I mean,
yeah, because eBay was selling airsoft. And that's when things really started getting chronoed. Because my dad's got one. I want to say it was Jin Gong, an M4, and that came out the box, and it was like, yeah, it's 400, and he was like, okay, that's going to be a problem. But before that, I mean, yeah, we just didn't chrono. We just played.
Well, that's when people turned up with
people. You'd have the same people, and you might bring one friend with you every now and again.
So the chronoing.
I didn't have any friends. Still don't.
No, I was gonna say the chronoing didn't come in hand in don't worry. The hand in hand with Yukara, it was a gradual thing, the chronoing coming in.
Yeah, or it's an insurance thing. If your insurance says you've got a limit, right. And it typically was always 328. Ours was 312 plus minus 10%, making it 330.
See, I remember it. I was going to say, I remember it 328 plus or minus 10%.
Yeah, see, ours was 312 for some reason. Yeah, but it's like, why would you minus 10%? But it's always a funny. But the other one, someone's commented in there, the Coke test. That always used to be another one. I don't know if you guys even know this one.
No.
You used to shoot for a can of Coke. And if it went through both sides, it was hot. If you went through one side and went down, you were fine. It was like, yeah, that's okay. Rudimentary tests. But yeah, it was like, if it's gone through both sides, we're in trouble. So if anyone's been around a while there, we'll remember that one.
Cheaper option than chrono.
Yeah. I can't really swear how reliable it was, because then people used to say, well, if I shoot it from the bottom, if I shoot it up the top.
Yeah.
But it used to be one of those ones where it's like, oh, shoot a Coke can, we'll have a guesstimate that way. That's just Jim's having internet connections here tonight. But yeah, it's now it seems to be everyone's 350 on the dot. And then there are some sites that do 360, getting closer and closer to the legal limit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it used to be like say by the 330 rules.
Yeah.
So Sarah, going to what your question was, because I remembered while we were talking, would you like to see, if you could, a higher FPS limit in the UK?
Judging by what I've listened to tonight, because before I was like, oh no, that sounds like pain and nobody wants that, but it is painful anyway, regardless. So the fact that it doesn't really change, from what Magda said, it doesn't really change the gameplay, it doesn't really affect anything. Yeah, I would say so, but I know that's quite a controversial, unpopular opinion. But
would you do it in CQB? Or would you like CQB to be the same?
CQB is painful anyway. So
yeah,
what the hell?
But usually, like on some CQB sites, we have, I think, as well, 350. On some like just CQB sites, it will be very similar limit, like in Poland. But mostly you have mixed environments, so then it will be 450, but just single only, like in the buildings.
Yeah, no, I think it would be probably, I don't know if it would be an improvement, but it'd be interesting to trial it, I think.
Jim, would you have a higher limit? And we're separating this. I know you just disconnected. Would you have a higher limit in Woodland? And then what about in CQB?
Well, first of all, can I apologise for my terrible internet connection this evening? Shit keeps cutting out. I don't know. To be honest, I do err on the side of like it should be a game and you shouldn't come home with looking like you've been attacked by leeches or some fucking insect that just bites and causes welts and all sorts of horribleness. But I do think like there is a time, like if you went higher FPS limits but went to single shot only, I don't think I'd have so much of an issue with it. what always concerns me is people being dicks and just like, oh, I've got a box mag and my gun now fires 400 feet a second, and I'm
rate
going to
of
make
fire.
you cry. Yeah, and it's just like, if you went single shot but went up to maybe like 370, 380, I don't think I'd have too much of a problem with it. But I think all of this stuff comes down to trust. Like, you should be able to trust players to behave sensibly, and if they can't, then they should fuck off back to paintball. I don't care. Graham just needs these little sound bites of me sounding controversial. You know?
I'm
kidding.
I feel sorry because there's one paintballer in the chat comment at least, because Ashley,
get out.
The hidden hedgehog is there. Who's the,
he's listening for sure.
Enjoy cleaning all your kit afterwards. I'm sure he's a lovely chap.
Magdalena, now that obviously you are in the UK, what do you think? Do you think that having a higher FPS limit would be better if we could, obviously? Do you find the range different? And obviously we're not talking 10 FPS is going to be a huge difference, but if you are shooting 450 with an 80,
yes, it's different in range, definitely. As I said on start, I had problems to get used to it because I didn't have enough range, and I was opening fire like too early because I was used to my rifle like back home. But in my opinion, I really like the fact, like, when you have assault rifle in the UK, you have 350. Then you have DMR, it's 450. Yes. Yeah, and then you have sniper rifle, it's maximum 500. And that's really good because you have difference between sniper rifle and assault rifle, you know, and you have this 150 FPS difference. And it makes sense because you carry all this long rifle or use bolt action, whatever it is. And it makes sense when back home, like, you have sniper rifle or 550, 600, and someone has AEG 530, you know, and it's like, and it shoots full auto, and you use bolt action sniper rifle, and it's like, where is, you know, it's, what's the point? It's like at this, like, and when I really like this fact, like in the UK, that you can really see the difference, you know, when you in FPS, and I think it's really good thing because you can play more as a sniper if you want. Of course, you have more FPS, but there's a downside. You have just single shot, or if you want to play like full auto, you know, full on, then you have like lower FPS limit, you have lower range, you know. So I think it's I think it's good.
That's always been my argument for a DMR. I just don't think they have a role in the game because I think you're right. Between having a bolt action and having a fully automatic AEG, there's a really good gap there, but then the DMR just fits in the middle, and I feel that that's an easy role to abuse.
Yeah.
And what you
actually
said, you on?
Sorry, I was going to say that from like a shot point of view, I always get guys coming in going, I want a bit of an edge. I want to be just slightly better than the rest of the guys with an edge, and they use the DMR as the cop out for that, and it's just sort of like, well, just get closer, you know, just be a bolder player, be a bit braver. Don't be such a you know,
exactly.
A wuss.
What's interesting, some of the comments are coming through in this section here, and you were mentioning about the difference in Poland, that there isn't a lot of difference between the bolt actions and AEGs. But if we look at countries like Portugal, we look at Ireland, for example, they have 328 FPS on bolt actions and AEGs.
Oh, really?
And that's the big thing. We've had Bull Airsoft Sniper on the show, and he was always saying that the biggest issue when you're on the same limit as everyone else is you're not going to outshoot them. You've just got to enjoy what you're playing. You know, enjoy the bolt action, the camouflage side. But you're right. It always was like there's no point having a bolt action.
Yeah, what's the point carrying like all this big sniper rifle, you know, when you can have like short MP9, you know, and have like a same range, you know? It's like, what's the point?
It's because Novrich does it. I still won't make a promise that I won't mention that every week. Yeah. Fucking bullshit. I apologise to our younger viewers if my language offends you. You stop watching Norwich and I'll stop swearing.
Poor old Christoph. He's hiring, by the way. If anyone's looking for a job in Airsoft, he is hiring.
Oh, really? What's the email address? I might go for it.
You've got to go to
I've got a passport.
Yeah.
I'm an international man of mystery. I can do it.
So, with a higher FPS limit, did you find tempers were different? And so, obviously, I'm sure you've seen enough in the UK when someone's been overshot and we see the tempers flying. You only have to look on YouTube to see tempers breaking out very quickly on videos. Was that the same situation?
The staged ones.
Yeah. Poor Miguel. Is that the same, or do you not get that? And I somewhat think the answer is the fact that the mentality of the players is probably going to be a big difference here.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand exactly your question. Like, what do you ask?
And people getting the arse ache over being shot too many times. Was that a problem at higher FPS?
Yeah, like, do you mean like people get crazy?
Yes.
Yeah. Jesus, it's like, of course, I don't have much experience in the UK, but I had situations like 2 weeks ago that I shot from really close distance, like full auto, like on someone's back, and he ended up with having bruises, and he was just like, oh yeah, it's painful, but he wasn't even aggressive to me. It was like, yeah, I was wearing just a t-shirt, and like back home, I've seen situations because it's so much painful, like people like get crazy because it's just like more painful. But as I said, it's just difference in the community, like, yeah, I think because it's more painful, I've seen more situations that people started to shout or, like small fights or something. Yeah, and I think it could cause a little bit more problems if we would have like higher FPS like in the UK.
You do see it a lot in America, people getting upset.
Yeah, and I was just like, when I was there, it's like I could compare the community to the UK. The people were so friendly, like it was really nice. You could see like really relaxed people. Of course, you've seen like some more serious players, but it was, the atmosphere was great. I really enjoyed like game like a Desert Fox 7. It was really, really great.
Yeah, and you used the Blue Fox tracker, didn't you? How did you find that?
I had problems to use the Blue Fox tracker on my phone. It was just on some, they're still developing the app, and mine was crashing, so I had to on and off because it wasn't refreshing. When I had it on all the time without like closing the screen, it was fine. But as soon as I put to the pause and I was running, I wanted to took out, and it was like kind of crashed, and I had to restart again. But it's such a clever idea, so that's a question for you guys. How many times you've been on Airsoft event and you could hear people, so what do we have to do now? Okay, so what's another task? People don't read rules. They have no clue what's going on the game. So this app, like it's a so it solves that problem completely, because you have points. For example, you need to capture the points. Easy. It shows you like which points you have to capture, like how many your teammates are around the points. It's like it's so easy, and everyone knows what they need to do. And so it eliminates the players that have no clue what they're doing, and it's very common on every game.
We had Leah on the show a few weeks ago. I really like the idea. I'm somewhat worried about our satellite coverage over here, or our 3G coverage over here for something like that. We've had BattleTech, which has been around years ago, but never really took off. And the same situation happened there, was that you just couldn't use it in most of the places. You'd run out of signal if you were too high. You run out of signal.
Yeah, we tried to use back home as well, and it's just when you have hills, forest, it's just the signal is too bad.
I'd love the idea, because we've all been to mil sims where people's comms gives up and people are now lost and walking around, having something like that, it goes, all right, okay, I know where my team are, I know where my squad are, I know what the objective is, I know what the the condition of the mission is right now, so that they can get back on track. I'd love to see it over here, and I know they were talking about putting it over here at some events in the future. I think it'll be an interesting one to see if we can get around the geographical issues of hills.
Yes, that's the only thing, but I think it's a great idea.
Jim, as someone who's done quite a few milsims, what do you think something like that? Because obviously you were at a day battle sim over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't really see the need in it. I think Magdalena hit the nail on the head. Like, people actually need to fucking listen more.
Read the rules.
You don't need an app to make you a better player. And while I think it's really cool, and I'm not knocking what Jet and Leah are working on. I mean, I can see it's got a great application to it. However, I just don't see that it's essential. And I think the one thing that I'd be interested to know what sites think, because if you've got a load of players running around with their mobile phones out, what happens when the first few get smashed to bits by some guy that comes around the corner and full auto someone, destroys their phone, and then people start having real temper tantrums and they can't even phone their mum because their phone's broken. And like, I think from like a standpoint, I mean, I've never been a fan of taking my phone out in the field, just because it's likely to get broken and it's kit that I don't need to be carrying. And when I'm playing Airsoft, I don't want anyone phoning me. I'm kind of busy. Fuck off.
It reminds me of that clip with the boy who's at his room and he's pulled his pistol and he's shot and he shoots his own computer monitor. And that would be wouldn't it? Everyone on the site like, ah.
I just wonder, like, would it derail? I mean, it's one of the questions I think we should have asked Leah is, like, have they had any experience with it? But just knowing what people can be like over here is like, oh, he broke my scope. People get really fucking butthurt over that. Can you imagine? You know, my new iPhone just got smashed because I didn't have a proper case to put it in because I paid all this money for a phone and can't buy a solid case.
Vortex case coming soon, lifetime warranty.
Chris, if Chris is watching, Chris at Vortex UK, make that happen for me.
I think as well, it can probably, the temptation would be to rely too much on it. Because when you're playing a milsim as well, you kind of want to be immersed in the experience and use your own initiative. Whereas with that, you think, oh, well, I can just look where everyone is. And it kind of cuts out that sense of being in the milsim. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. But this is like, it's like Desert Fox event. I think Leah said that it's not like a proper milsim game. It's military simulation, but it's treated as a like easy game. You know, it's not like milsim where it's like 40 hours full on, you know, gear on and everything. They treat this like, I think, more relaxed military simulation. Okay. So there's a lot of like beginners as well, you know. It's in my opinion, it's cool idea, but you need to have like you know, as Graham said, like it needs to be usually flat area. Work like in our environment when we have hills, thick forests, you know. But I think it's cool idea. It's cool addition, you know, to go for a game from time to time like that. And there was like many players still that they didn't have a phone, you know, and they still like could play, you know. So yeah, I think it's a cool idea.
Using it at the trees if you go to a Sterling. That's all I shall say.
Yeah.
So just to finally conclude on this one then. So overall FPS limits, Jim doesn't want to go. Jim wouldn't go higher. I think we've kind of said.
I don't think you need to go higher. Like I want players to be more honest, not FPS to be higher.
Would you go lower?
I can't really see the point. I think it's good where it is.
Would you just rather players stop wearing 15 plate carriers with real plates?
No, I just wish everyone would stop being such little fucking bitches and just get on with it. Take your hits. Don't be a dick. Basic rules of airsoft, you know.
So if we all turn up in morph suits, Jim, we all turn up in morph.
Oh, get fucked.
You'd feel every hit. We could go to 180 FPS, Jim.
Yeah, but have you seen half the people that play airsoft? I do not want to see guys bigger than me wearing morph suits. I'd shut off when I go to the fucking beach for the safety of those around me, right? It is not pleasant. So you get a fat man in a morph suit and I'm feeling sick thinking about it now. In fact, you've crossed the line, Graham. I'm quitting this show. It's descended into madness. I mean, like, don't hear it. Ladies, would you like to see that? Would you like to see? Oh, it's just making me feel queasy. Oh,
Oh my God.
Anyway,
I've gone silent on that one.
I've seen a player in a mankini. That was enough for me to go, you know what? Power to you, but I'm not playing anywhere near you.
No.
No one wants grape smugglers, all right?
No.
Sacrilegious. Anyway, I think that's a good place to start rounding this up if there ever was one. Sorry for lowering the tone. But it was Graham's fault. He egged me on. And my internet's frozen.
No, you still on.
Yeah, no, I'm out.
Jim, you'll be back with us next week, hopefully.
Maybe we'll see. As long as there's not a dress code. In fact, if everyone went to morph suits, I'd say I'd agree with the increase in FPS. Because those fuckers deserve it.
Well, I think that about rounds it up for this week on Airsoft Radio. Before we go, what's everyone up to this week? And Magdalena, where can people find you? So let's start with you.
I told you, Jim won't be happy. I'm enjoying joining Dark Side like this weekend. I'm going to Ragnarok Magfen paintball event. It's up north. I think it's east from Leeds. It's like, I think, non-active military base. So yeah, that will be my first paintball Magfen game. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I will play as a sniper. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. For sure I will share with you guys like on my Instagram how it went.
Yeah, I'm gonna look forward to following that. That'd be quite cool.
Whereabouts do you normally play? Whereabouts can people sort of run into you at a site?
I'm the most often at Red Alert Paintball. Airsoft, they do paintball and airsoft. It's near Reading. Actually, it's near Newbury. Really, really cool site. I hugely recommend. They do Saturdays and Sundays as well. So that's my my main site at the moment.
Cool.
Berkshire, yes. There we go. So cool. Sarah, what are you up to this week? Are you playing?
Yeah, I'm down at AAA again. So.
Oh yes, of course.
As always, getting my Suki Boo fix. So yeah, that's what I'm up to.
Jim, what about you? Where are you working this weekend?
Well, I'm probably going to spend the next few days dealing with hate comments on the internet. People can't have a sense of humour and they're arseholes. I'm at Call Under Fire this weekend, down near Tenham, near Sittingbourne. So that should be a good one.
Moon Farm. Very nice.
Moonfield Farm, yeah.
Moonfield Farm, that's it.
Graham,
best toilets in Airsoft. All I'm saying is purpose-built toilet block. It's got a shower block in there as well. Like, there's even a motion-activated light, so when you go in there, the light comes on. I mean,
and air freshener. Air freshener as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, anyway, just getting back to the morph suits.
I may be playing this weekend, although we were talking about maybe going camping, so I may have to drop this weekend for camping. It's just come to me, which should just be around the corner from NAE. It's over in the New Forest. But if not, I will be definitely playing this weekend, taking all the cool stuff I've got coming out. But we shall see. And then this week, I've got more products to review. I'll be actually releasing the review of the One Tigris chest rig this week, rounding up the giveaway for the Modified PDW, the King Arms Peacemaker Cowboy Gun. So so more reviews to drop this week. Busy old one.
Cool. When do you go to the West Midlands Airsoft event?
Oh yes,
you did Northern Shooting Show.
Yeah, Midlands Airsoft Fair is on the 2nd of June. Good shout there. Midland Airsoft Fair. Let's just bring up that. If you are around the Midlands, or maybe you're not even in the Midlands, there is the annual Midlands Airsoft Fair. Let me just share my screen.
Sarah will be doing autographs because I think she's going as well.
Oh,
go get your selfie fix.
So Midlands Airsoft Fair is it is basically probably the UK's biggest airsoft boot fair at this point in time. This year, it's previously been at the Joule in Leicester, or just near Leicester, but it's now been moved to Newark Showground, which isn't that far further up once you're on the motorway, to be honest. So I'll be there on the 2nd. We still have next week to talk about it, but there is going to be a lot there. If you're looking to buy stuff on the second-hand market, or you're looking to sell stuff, it's going to be an event not to be missed. I think, and this isn't official, but I think we're looking at probably at least 50 stands there right now of second-hand sales and retailers and other events, other things going on there. And I can't announce who's there and who isn't there at the moment from what I've seen, because there's a few people who haven't quite paid up yet. But if you're looking to sell your stuff there as well, I believe the stand is, I want to say it's £20. But yeah, I believe I think the pitch is about £20. No, beg your pardon. Yeah, £20 for an indoor pitch. It's all indoors this year round. Yeah, that's in 2 weeks' time. I'll actually be live streaming for several hours there in a collaboration with Kronos Airsoft, I believe. But that will be announced in the coming weeks with plenty of giveaway stuff as well. So exciting times ahead indeed. Thanks for that, Jim. I totally forgot.
That's all right. That's what I'm here for. I've got to have one use. That and alienating most of the airsoft community. But I'm going to give a shout out to anyone. Look, there's a couple of people that asked me like where I got my hat from. You need to go to @Rugged on Instagram. It used to be Chris Osmond Designs. Just go there. It's brilliant. I can't promote it enough. Not that I'm getting paid to. I got this bought for me for my birthday. So
I love that. I might have to get one. I love it, and I've got a collection of caps for that one.
They brought out a T-shirt as well.
Just for the podcast, what does it say, Jim?
Oh yes, for the people on the podcast.
It says, well, no, go to @Platoon Jim and look at my Instagram account, and you will see what's on there. It's just so I shamelessly get more likes and followers.
Yeah, and so that will let the podcast stay on there.
Exactly. And as one of our previous guests tried to get me more followers, and Jake, if you're listening, you got me 2 followers, so your internet clout is worse than mine. So,
well, guys, thank you so much for joining us this evening on Airsoft Radio. We're definitely going to see you next Monday. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have enjoyed the show, don't forget to give us a like, follow, and maybe even share it with a friend. You've probably got at least one, hopefully. Don't forget, you can catch us live next week. Yeah, just the one.
And yeah, just one. And because we didn't do it, but where can people find Magda on Instagram? What's your...
On Instagram, Polish Airsoft Girl.
There we go. Polish Airsoft Girl, and I will stick that in the banner if you're watching there. Let me go. If I can spell. There we go. Yeah, so yeah, Polish Airsoft Girl on Instagram. Magdalena,
thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was my pleasure. It was really nice.
Well, thank you so much for joining us again, and we do hope to have you come back on in the future, and maybe, hopefully, sometime grab a game, guys.
Yes, hopefully soon.
Yeah. Guys,
we should do the first annual Airsoft Radio game somewhere, where we get all of our guests to come along and shoot Graham in a morph suit.
I'll get Unicorn Layer to bring the Fomax
and we'll put you on the app as well, so we can see where you are at all times and just hunt you down with 500 feet per second guns.
Well, Magdalena, thanks so
Put
much.
in the comments and like it if you want that to happen, people that listen to it. or both of you.
I feel like Jeremy Clarkson for saying with that bombshell. We shall see you next week on Airsoft Radio.
Well, as long as you don't feel like Jeremy Kyle, it's all right.
Bye for now.
Bye.